Today I have just a language activity for you that we're going to do. I'm actually using, if you guys have ever played the game Headbands, I'm going to be using some of these pictured cards for a quick activity today that's going to target language. So what we're going to do is I'm going to first be looking at a picture, and I'm going to describe it to you guys. So I'm going to tell you something about the picture I'm holding. I might tell you what it looks like, what we do with it, who uses it, where you can find it, what it looks like, what it feels like. So these are all describing things I'm going to do for you. And what you're going to do is listen, use your good listening ears, and then I want you to think about what kind of thing I might be describing. And then you are going to just work at home with mom and dad and tell them what you think it is. And then I'll give you some think time and show you the right answer. So let's start. I'm just going to pull one of my cards to describe to you guys first. Okay. So the first card I'm looking at is an animal that lives on a farm. And it lays eggs. So I want you to think about which animal I am describing that lives on the farm and lays eggs. Okay, and then some of you might know right away, and some of you might need some extra help. So if you got it right away, good work. And for those who might need a little extra help, I'm going to give two choices. Okay, so which one of these would live on the farm and lay eggs? And if you guessed chicken, you are right. So good work. All right, let's try another one. The next thing I have that I'm looking at has wings, and it starts out as a caterpillar. A lot of you may remember a book we have read about a caterpillar. So this starts out as a caterpillar, and then it is able to fly. For those of you who don't know right away, which one do you think it would be that starts out as a caterpillar? Fly or butterfly? If you guessed butterfly, you are correct. Our next item is something we eat that melts. Something we eat that melts. Do you think it would be a cake or ice cream? If you guessed ice cream, you're correct. All right, kiddos, the next one is something that we use with steps, and it helps us get to higher places. So that's not, Miss Hermes didn't do a great job of describing it. So let me think of something better. So yeah, I think if a better way to say that is this has steps, and we would need it to reach something or to get something that's out of our reach. So if it's at a high place and I can't reach with my hands, what would I need to reach it that has steps? Do you think it would be a hammer or a ladder? If you guessed ladder, you are correct. for my next one that I'm going to do, I have an animal that comes out at night and it flies. So, an animal that comes out at night and flies. For those of you who aren't quite sure yet what I'm talking about, I'll give you another hint. It has big wings and it can hang upside down. Am I talking about a butterfly or a bat? It's a bat. All right, guys, hope you're following along okay at home. We're gonna do a few more here. Give me 1 second. The next item I have is a food. It has noodles, sauce, and meat or meatballs on it. So something we eat with all of those things. Can you think of what that may be? You might be able to guess just from the pictures. Is it French fries or spaghetti? Spaghetti, right? All right. The next item I'm going to describe is an animal. Not an animal we can see around here. It's an animal that would be in the wild, or you'd have to be at the zoo to see. It's an animal with a very long neck. So can you think of an animal that's a wild animal that we, don't see around our area with a long neck and is very tall? What am I describing? Am I describing a giraffe or a rhino? I am describing a giraffe. All right. Let's pick out a couple more. The next item I'm going to describe lives in the water and has very sharp teeth. Which animal lives in the water and has sharp teeth? If you guessed a shark, you're correct. All right, guys, let's do one more. Maybe. Can you guys think of what we call, or what it would be if I'm talking about an instrument, a string instrument that we hold and it makes music? I don't have another instrument picture, but for those that might need a choice, do you think I'm talking about a guitar or a drum? Guitar. All right, guys. I hope that you were able to use those little thinking brains and were able to listen and think about what I was describing and think about all the words that you know and come to a guess for those. For the next little portion, I'm going to be showing you guys pictures that I want you to now do what Miss Jean did and describe them to whoever's working with you today. So I want mom or dad or grandma or grandpa, whoever's helping you, to not look at the screen. And you guys are going to get a turn to describe it to grandma, grandpa, mom or dad, or a sibling maybe. See if they can guess it. So I want you to really focus on what I did, which was using your words to describe things, okay? So when I was describing things, I didn't just say it's red, right? Because there's a lot of red things that in the world. So that wouldn't be a very good description because I'd be guessing for days. So when you're describing these to whoever you are, I want you to work on using your language to talk about what it looks like, what it feels like, who uses it, where do we find it, okay? So I'm going to put on some pictures now, and I want you to go ahead and do the describing like I just did. So now it's your turn. So look at the picture and tell them, what do you do with this? So hopefully you were able to tell them that you use it that it's a tool and you use it to pound nails. Okay, good. And you should be able to just tell them a couple things about the item, and then they should be able to guess it if you say one or two things, kind of like I was doing. Let's try this one. Can you guys describe this to whoever's working with you? So hopefully you were able to tell your friend who you were working with that, it's a game, or you use it in a game. You roll them, and they have numbers on them. I think those would have been good hints for them to guess dice. How about this one? Can you guys describe this one to either me or your friend? What is this thing? What do we call it? What does it look like? What does it do? So hopefully you guys were able to communicate that it is an insect that flies. You could have said it's black and yellow. That would have been a good hint. Or that it stings, right? So hopefully you were able to use those. Let's do one more. Let's do this one. How would you describe this picture? I'll give you a couple more seconds.